then suddenly you change it to say you are renting power boats. What that means is they intend to keep paying the Dominican Republic company billions of dollars that they will get kicked back from, and we, the Guyanese people, will face it down the line. More so, the company they are trying to bring to GPL has failed in Jamaica. Why would you take a failed company that failed to deliver the electricity that is needed in Jamaica and bring them to Guyana and pay them millions of dollars to give us no light? It is the only country in the world I heard that when you ask why they got blackouts, they say bored by the wire. Only in Guyana. Unless these birds are vultures like the PPP, I can't see birds biting wire and giving me blackout. So everything for them is corruption. This government cannot help itself. I've said before, if when you move, your shadow didn't move, this government would have thief their own shadow. But the shadow is moved, so they can't do it. But one of the worst things that is happening to this country is the high level of corruption. Which government on earth, you know, and if you know of one, tell me, but which government on earth will allow its police force to cover up the murder of an innocent 11-year-old child? That takes the cake. I can understand that the rich could do all the kinds of things. But when a government has the audacity to know that an 11-year-old child was murdered in a hotel, and you allow the commander to say the child left the building in a car, and then proceeded to lock up the man in the car, as fate would have it, or luck, their own critic, that dumbbell called critic, in an attempt to prove that the girl wasn't in there, flew a drone over the swimming pool. And so it was known that the child wasn't there the night before. So when the pressure built now and they threw the child in the pool, all the evidence was clear that the child was murdered there. But this government defended to the end. And that is one of the things that convinced me that Irfan Ali must be one of the dumbest things this earth produced. He comes out and says the pathologist suggests there is no foul play. Look, even if you take Stevie Wonder, you would see that was a murder. And I make this promise to you that in office there will be a proper international competent investigation into the murder of Adriana Young. We owe it. We owe it to the people of this country. I also say that there will be a total transformation of the leadership of the Guyana Police Force. Why should we embarrassed? Why should we be embarrassed by a police force in which its top leadership has to be sanctioned by the United States? Why should we have at the top of our police force men who frightened to go to America that try and cut through Panama and go all wrong? Because it's a corrupt leadership. The commissioner of Fickin, or whatever he named, Fickin Hickin, you are a commissioner of police. You're fighting with every little boy with a giant or something. Me saying they must smoke. Me saying nobody must break the law. But if you are a commissioner, you know them, and you know the men under you involved in drug trafficking, then you yourself should resign. Or if you had a competent government, they will fire you. But you know they can't fire you. Because if they fire you, apart from knowing the story, if they fire him, they wouldn't have the person to protect them. Remember, after the journalist came here and trapped Jack Dale and had him stammering, sue, 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 there was a demand for the police to investigate the corruption that Barry Jack Dale is involved in. The police refused to, because hand wash hand. No, in this case, make hand dirty. Hand wash hand in this case produces two dirty hands. And so, when we are voting in these elections, we are voting to restore law and order to Guyana. When we're voting in these elections, we are voting to ensure that we have a police force that serves the people of Guyana and not just serve the rich and the politically positioned. Any decent society would say, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. Not the PPP. They permit the bribery of a little child, a little indigenous child that was raped. You know, this government protects the worst people. And I always tell them, you know, they like to talk about those who left the PNC and gone to the PPP. I like remind them James Bond got a Martin coat. So he is in conflict with the law. Daniel Sira, he got a matter in court. If you look at all the persons that gravitate to the PPP, you see one thing, a criminal streak. Who in already, all of them don't commit the crime. They got some of them that are charged, and they got some of them that got the charge hanging over the head like the swords of Damocles. And so, let us not worry. We are saying to you, we have the best team in this election. I can say without fear of successful contradiction that the qualifications I have can be proven in the university. They can't say that for a fact. He's the only man I know went to a university in a community named Flood. And when you search the community, they don't know university. I'm saying to you, they can search how much they want. I have lived my life as a simple, humble man, and I've avoided corruption. I refuse corrupt overtures because I believe corruption keeps people in poverty. It enriches the few, but the majority suffers. And I say to you this evening, we are going to put people first. We want people to improve their lives. We want people to live a comfortable life. And that is why we say to you, we will reject corruption. And an administration led by me will deal with corruption if it ever emerges. Because we do believe corruption is a killer of people's hopes. My friends, these elections are critical. These elections will determine whether the people of Guyana will continue to live in poverty while the elite leadership become billionaires. We are saying to you, we will take the billions of dollars coming into this economy and ensure it is distributed so that the people can develop. We intend to have a very robust agricultural program in which we put young people into modern agriculture, aquaponics, etc., so that we can produce the goods, the agricultural products we need. And this is critical. This government is so dumb. ExxonMobil came, thousands coming with them. You must know, if you continue to produce in the limited regions, what will happen is that there will be shortages. And that is why I say Barry Jagdo is an economist. Because were he an economist, he would have known from simple first form economics that when goods become scarce, the price goes up. We are saying to you, we are cognizant of that fact. And we are going to increase agricultural production. We're going to ensure that there is agricultural production in every region, so that we have more goods which will impact and bring down the price of agricultural goods. Why should a bundle of bora be more expensive than an imported tin of sardine? Because the government doesn't plan. And we're saying to you, we intend to take agriculture to a higher level. First, we know we have to develop refrigerating storage capacity, so that when you start to produce the excess, it isn't thrown away. It is stored, and then it is processed so that there can be products for sale on the export market. My friends, don't be carried away by oil. Oil doesn't last forever. Oil is important to us, but it is only be useful if that oil money is used to generate other economic activities and industries. So when oil is over or oil prices are down, we have alternatives. That is what makes sense. You have a government that is spending 99% of the money that coming from oil wild. They are wasting it. Rather than in a very structured way, have a natural resource fund in which you utilize 75% and 25% you save. Look, most Guyanese don't have savings, and they must know what the burden it is when you don't have anything saved for hard times. And that is what the government is doing to us. They are putting us in a place where they are not saving the resources from oil. They are using it. So if oil price goes down, or we come to the end of oil production, we will be in deep trouble. We are saying to you, we will have a natural resource fund in which a large percentage of it will be saved, because we have to cater for future generations. We have to cater for low oil prices. We have to cater for the fact that oil will end at some time. And so our intention is to do everything to benefit the people of Guyana. We have said we will give you a 10,000 electricity subsidy, so that if you're paying $10,000 a month, you won't have to pay anything. But if you're consuming over 10,000, you have to pay the difference. We will do the same thing with water for 5,000. We want to see our people develop. We intend to give every child, every youth, who goes to study after secondary school at our university, at our technical institutes. We intend to give them $50,000 to ensure that they can complete their programs. Guyana has need for a lot of skills. Guyana is in so much trouble that we bring in drivers from Bangladesh. Tell me, what is so difficult for a government to set up a driving school and train our young people to drive right here so that they can get the jobs? But no, they prefer pay some company for recruit them, and in paying the company, they get paid themselves. Everything for them is corruption. They don't see straight. If they're in corruption money, we have to end that. We want a government that serves the people of Guyana. That is the reality. We want a government that is competent. You know, I listened to that dumb one here, Jill, saying that you don't need to do a stress test on the new bridge. The man is stressed. In the world recently, the largest bridge was completed. And you know what they did? They packed vehicles with weight on it, right across. And it is done in China, and the Chinese building this. And you would say we shouldn't do stress tests when the Chinese put all as much weight as they can put on it to test its stress level. But they don't care. If the bridge collapses with people, they will move on like how they move on when the students at Mahdia get killed. They have a war mentality. And I believe Ghana should demand a stress test. The reason why they didn't want a stress test is that they're hoping to open it for the elections, but they didn't get through. Which is another thing about this government. Every project they would have handled, it goes on years and years after the time it was scheduled to complete. The gas, the shore probably is the worst to them. It was to finish in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Thank God they wouldn't be there in 2026. I want to say this to you. We're not voting against the PPP because we dislike them. We're voting against them because they're taking all our resources and through corruption, putting it in the hands of their families, their friends, and their favorites. We're voting against them because we have a lot of resources and they are not putting it in the hands of the people. We are going to put it in the hands of the people. We are voting against them because they are incompetent. Every road that they build is a disaster. We are voting against their incompetence. We are voting against their corruption. We are voting against their unwillingness to bring down the high cost of living. We are going to bring down the high cost of living. People matter for us. And since people matter, cost of living has to be a critical issue. And we will take the measures to bring the cost of living down. If you look at our manifesto, you will see a plan for every sector. And we believe we have to develop every sector. And so I want to urge you to put your X next to the palm. I want to urge you to vote to return honesty to this country. To return honesty to this country, you have to put your X next to the palm. We want to see the return of law and order. Not people behaving like if there's a sheriff in the Wild West and beating up people and doing as they like. That will come to an end under us. So I urge you to come out and vote for a better life. Come out and vote for a quality life. Come out and vote for a reformed Guyana police force. Come out and vote for a better education system. And come out and vote for the social programs we have that will put resources in your pocket and ensure you develop. My friends, the PPP has no interest in you, the people of Guyana. They spend years, and election time, they come with promises. PPP means plenty, promises plenty. That's all they do. And after the election, they become the worst regime in the world. So I want to close by saying to you, Guyana needs to grow. Guyana needs to breathe. Guyana needs to become a democratic society. Guyana needs to become a society in which the people have rights. Guyana needs to become a society in which the people feel at home and they want to be one people, one nation, one destiny. And for that to happen and for Guyana to grow, the PPP must go. Put your X next to the palm and let us move forward. May God bless you all.
Vote no vote. Put it by the palm if you serious vote your life. Vote no vote, no vote. Up to the permission they take your future right. Vote no vote, no vote. Don't leave it for later. Do it clean and bright. Vote no vote, no vote. Aubrey and Jareda got division inside. Me used to say politics now for me, but me tired of waiting for miracle tree. Same old talk, same old scene.